This is author Brian Kennard, the author of Hellbox, also the creator of Villicon Chronicles. Did you know that Sean Delaney was the fifth Kiss? Here's Tom and Zeus. Take it away.
Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus with another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast, episode 96, Mailbag II. Ooh!
Electric Boogaloo. You just have to you have to add Electric Boogaloo anytime you say anything two.
Exactly.
What's going on, my man?
Same old, except for I don't know, I moved.
I know. I see the new
location.
Yeah, I see the new digs on Skype there. It's looks like organized chaos.
Exactly what it is. First thing I had to do, I got shit all over this place. Well, hurry up. I better put up my CDs and DVDs up first.
Yeah, that's first thing.
So I know I can see them in proper order. Not that I'll pull one out to watch or listen to.
Yep.
It is what it is.
And it's the only piece of furniture I see set up is the friggin' podcast desk. That's the only thing that matters.
Everything else is just in disarray.
Now, those boxes behind you, I'm assuming those are like mail-in ballots for like Pennsylvania or Nevada. That's what those are?
Yes. I am the culprit that's been stealing all those ballots. So it is what now? We're actually taping on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Maybe by the end of the day, there will be a result. But as of 8 o'clock, roughly, there is not.
Yep.
So we don't know if there'll be a world after this we record.
That's as Newman would say, like we did in our Coming Soon, because the mail never stops.
Yes. So who knows what this country will be like, but for prosperity purposes, we're recording a KISS Mailbag podcast episode.
Right.
So that future generations could see what was going on this particular day.
When people open up history books and refer to 2020, they're going to talk about COVID. They're going to talk about this hysterical election. And they're going to be like, in the middle of all this flurry of hysteria were two guys from Boston that calmed everyone's nerves with a wonderful KISS podcast. And here we are to save the day.
That dissected the trials and tribulations of a one pandemic Paul.
And broke down the Crimson Witch.
And describe the constant growth of a former guitarist's nose bridge.
And concentrated every month on the gastrointestinal issues of one of the show's co-hosts. And it's like we're doing our year in review episode right now.
Constantly commented on a femme fatale's album sharing two marathon that would be produced via Instagram and Facebook.
Oh God! Oh, poor woman. We fucking ruined. Oh man,
the Ripper.
Oh God.
Anyway, last week, Tom, we did Scooby-Doo. We got a ton of feedback, and it eventually also became probably a top 5 most listened, downloaded episode we've ever done, which I sometimes I just don't get it. I don't get what you guys like. Obviously, we've had things where KISS debut album was off the charts. Unmasked was, of all our album reviews, probably maybe the highest we've ever had.
Yep.
Obviously, Carrie's interview. What else have we had that were just off the charts? Oh, the Mike Douglas episode.
Yep.
The Kids episode. The Paul Lynde Halloween special. And Scooby-Doo. Yeah,
it's just it's so funny you said, because like we do these episodes and we're like, oh, this will be interesting, feedback. Like, I think of the Eddie Van Halen and KISS episode, but then all of a sudden we put out an episode on the Scooby-Doo movie, and it's like we can't keep up with emails and feedback. I'm like, I love it. We love you guys for it, but it's just funny how KISS fans are.
Yep, absolutely. And, when we come up with episode ideas, we like to mix it up a little bit. We like to kind of organize things. So last year we did a mailbag episode. So we're like, okay, let's do one every year, one episode a year. Mailbag. Oh, shit. We've got a lot of themes that we did last year that we'd like to continue coming forward.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, well, we better schedule this out because there's not that many episodes left this year. So we decided to throw mailbag in here. But going back to Scooby-Doo, we got tons of feedback, and we always start with our poll. And I have a bone to pick with you because how the fuck, because I know it wasn't me, did you leave out Velma in the poll selection?
I'll tell you why. It was part of the
Velma. I can't believe I said Velma.
Daphne.
I mean, how the fuck did you leave out Daphne?
It was part of the master plan, and I will explain myself. So the poll was, who is your favorite Scooby? Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Who here was born in Astoria?
Raise your hand. Okay, who here was not born in Astoria? Raise your hand.
Who here was not born in California? Maybe born somewhere else. You, over there. Ever kissed a girl on the lips?
So we said, who's your favorite Scooby-Doo character? Shaggy, Scooby. You suggested fucking Scrappy.
I wanted to make it funny, Scrappy.
But then I put Fred in as the fourth option because I knew what would happen, and I was right. By the way, Scooby won 51% of the votes. Shaggy was right there with 43. But I did that because then all the comments were loaded with Daphne love. Pictures, GIFs, everything.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, so the comments were loaded with Daphne memes and GIFs and stuff, and I kind of did that a little bit because I knew that would happen. Twisted Kister said Scooby for the cartoon, but once I saw Sarah Michelle Gellar take over for Daphne in the live-action movie, my allegiances shifted. And then he posted
Buffy.
And he posted a little GIF of her. I know that's Zeus's favorite. And then our buddy Deuce had a good one. Jesus Christ, here we go. Then our buddy Deuce had a good one. He goes, from listening to this episode, I thought Tracy Lords would have been an option.
What?
Because we were talking about Tracy Lords and her movie. I was drunk.
What was she drunk off of?
Cock. And then old guy said, I've always hated Scrappy Doo. Yeah. And then our buddy Jack Ben. So he must like the scholarly type with the glasses, knee highs, and the turtleneck. Yeah, a lot of Daphne here. Our buddy Lance said the main poll should have been Daphne versus Velma.
Yeah, one of the things about Velma, she's not very attractive. And in addition to that, there was a point when they did the Scooby movie, and I remember they're like, oh, there's a point where they kiss. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar is gonna have like a lesbian kiss with her. I was like, what?
Oh, nice.
Scooby-Doo movie.
Really?
What the fuck is that?
Are you sure you weren't searching Scooby-Doo porn parody on Google? Because that exists from what I've heard.
Oh, you mean like Buffy porn?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Star Wars parody porn? Chewbacca and Darth Vader like boning Princess Leia?
That's no lightsaber.
Then the fucking Ewok midget guy comes in and
you get little fucking green Yoda trying to friggin' bang Han Solo.
This isn't, I don't want gay Star Wars porn. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's pretty straight. Well, the girls aren't, but Star Wars porn.
By the way, the girl that plays Velma in the live action movie, she's hot. She comes across very scholarly with the So anyways, that was the poll, and then we can just go right into regular, episode related comments. A lot of people, I was happy because a lot of people liked this movie, saw the movie, had it. Our buddy Steve said, I admit I skipped this when it came out and only watched it because of this episode. All right, cool. Thanks. Our buddy Heavy Mayo says, my boy loved this movie and actually got into the music. All right, cool. Uncle Paulie says, I'm 26 minutes and 52 seconds into this episode and I had to hit pause. And I said, I would 1000% buy a Let's Go t-shirt from Click Key Shop. Oh, man. Stickman said, time to break out the ascots. Jack Bronco said, nice one. I love it louder. Jumped in. He said, great episode. Good one, fellas. The band absolutely doesn't take itself too seriously in the movie, which was awesome to see. Don't Touch My Ascot is a Mount Rushmore fake song for me. I can't get it out of my head. Then the greatest comment we saw was our buddy Tony from Restrained. He said, Don't Touch My Ascot is better than anything off of Monster. Oh, man. And then this was great. Our buddy Tom Dust, who does the hashtag Kiss riff of the day. He's great. He posts these videos of him playing Kiss songs. He actually played Don't Touch My Ascot.
I know.
It was awesome. Thank you, Tom. That was great. That was great. And then Kim Andrews said, I watched it and love it. So that was cool. A lot of people big fan of that movie. And I mean, how can you not be? You know, it's fun. It's silly and stupid and it's Kiss. So it was a fun one.
Yeah. And on Facebook, we got a couple different ones here too, Tom.
Yep.
Mark Arnold. Great episode, guys. I bought this when it first came out on DVD and usually watch it a couple times a year for fun. It's nice to see Kiss not taking themselves too seriously. I wonder if Kiss was ever offered to do the 70s Scooby cartoon, maybe declined it as the money wasn't enough for them. Keep up the great shows. Scott Donaldson. Good episode as always, guys. I've never had an interest to see the movie. Maybe I will now. Probably regarding a comment from some goofball from Oz.
Yeah.
Bagging you for the banter. I love it. It's what makes some episodes so fun. Well, I'm glad you guys like that me and Tom actually talk.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, I think I saw Scott was advertising. They're doing some of the tours now, right?
Yes.
His
yes.
group?
Yep.
Am I correct on that?
You are correct. Yep. They're going to be getting back into it. Kissteria. Yep.
His group in Australia, Kiss cover band, and he plays the Fox, not Peter Criss.
Yep.
Right? Gotta
Very
love
cool.
that because it's 80s unmasked era Australia kind of stuff. Oh, I love that stuff.
Yep. That's very cool.
Yeah, please, Scott, post some stuff and we'll be more than happy to share it for you, you know?
Yeah. And I think Kissteria has a Facebook page themselves too, so people could check that out too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if people are from Australia, should go check them out.
Definitely. Yes. Very cool.
You put also, Tom, you must have replied and put the screenshot of the photo with all the former Kiss members.
Yes.
And even the fig for Anton.
Yep.
That was one of the things, and Scott replied, that was one of the things I really enjoyed hearing about. Pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it was funny too, because we didn't really talk about it when we reviewed the movie, but I'm wondering who was behind that, because that just doesn't sound like something that Paul would approve of.
It is everything that they don't do now. Like
that's right.
Take themselves seriously, allow for inclusion of other people's tip of the hat to other members.
But it was only 5 years ago. This wasn't 20 years ago. What's changed in 5 years? I mean, a lot, but
Pandemic Paul has changed.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll get into that. Yeah.
Let's move on. Stephen Wood. Anyone know if it's available on streaming in Australia or on YouTube?
I don't think it is. I even in the US, I don't think it's available streaming. YouTube, you can find clips of it, but that's US YouTube. I think your best bet is to probably just look for the DVD.
Yeah, in the Amazon, I streamed it. I think, and somebody made a point, and I thought that was it Chris Vickery that made the point that about the old 70s ripoff Kiss cartoon version on Scooby-Doo.
It was like the Disc Demon or something, and it was a monster who looked exactly like Gene Simmons, but instead of being black and white and silver, he was like orange and red, but the makeup and the hair, everything was just like Gene Simmons, but it wasn't marketed as a Kiss episode.
But I think he said that it was included in the DVD or something as a bonus episode.
I'm not sure if was referring to the Blu-ray. I have the DVD, not the Blu-ray, and I don't have that on my DVD.
I try to get the all-in-one because I never can buy anything just regular. Always have to get the deluxe.
Yeah.
The DVD, Blu-ray, digital copy of it. I ordered it 3 different fucking times on eBay. 3 times.
Yep.
Including once on Amazon I didn't Amazon. It was 3 and then one other place, oldies.com. And each one advertised it with the all-in-one picture of the DVD, Blu-ray, and digital copy. Each one, as soon as I got it, had the Blu-ray, just the Bluray. And I'm like, motherfuckers.
You fucking sneaky bastard. I'm gonna take you to work. I'm gonna nail it to the wall. I'm gonna crush your boils in a meat grinder. I'm gonna cut off your arms. I'm gonna shove them up your asshole.
Every time I have to wait, send it back, order the new one. Still can't find it, so I don't know. Nice. Kevin Jepson.
Uh-oh.
Guys, settle down. Listening to you guys try to break down the plot. You guys kill me. Anyway, I love this movie. Love the Easter eggs as well. And Doc's character is the best. Love it. Really enjoyed the movie. I don't like the remade songs on the Sonic Boom CD, but I love them in the movie. They seem to work really good and sound great too. Another good one, guys. Kevin, I can't agree with you more. There's something about the movie and the quality of the songs on it. I don't know. I just thought they came off crisp. There was something about it. You could tell they're new, but they worked.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fucking bonus Sonic Boom shit.
No, I honestly, I don't like either of them, but I will agree with Kevin that the redo versions on the movie are much better than the Sonic Boom bonus remakes. I agree with that, but.
And then you replied with, fuck the Crimson Witch and those elders.
Oh, yeah, the elder. Well, I don't know if I did this in text or if I can't remember, but I was talking about how the elder sounded like a fucking beer vendor from Fenway. Penny Marshall.
What time are you guys going to come over here?
Pretty much. No, you
save the world.
You did it. You said it the best from my cousin Vinny. The defense is warm.
Anyway, so that was the feedback. Good episode. We enjoyed the movie, and it sounds like you guys did too.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So let's move it along. What's going on in KISS World?
Oh, nothing. Very, very quiet. Another quiet week. We did get a little bit of just commentary here from our buddy Bruce, who we love. This was from a Blabbermouth article posted on November 2nd. It might be a little bit of, it might have included some of the things that we had talked about previously with when Bruce was talking about Ace and Tommy, but this one had some specific comments that Bruce was referring to. We talked, I think it was last week when we talked about how Ace was kind of bagging on Tommy about doing note for note. And he was saying how Bruce had a little bit more vibe and spirit to it. So Bruce had some comments. It was an interview that he did a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. And Bruce had he's such a class act. I mean, he always says the right thing. He says, I always knew that Ace liked me. He would say kind things about me. Not that I think he commented too much on KISS. His relationship with them is very different than it would be for me. I was just one of those lucky guys who stepped in. He said, what I think he reflected on, which was wonderful, of course, is the fact that I was able to take some of his signature riffs and make them my own. So I think he appreciated that. And Bruce continues by saying, clearly Gene and Paul want Tommy to be the spaceman, which means to play more like Ace. And Tommy always knew that stuff better than me. So it was part of his job description, if you get what I mean, and I don't fault him for it. I think he does it great, and I am good friends with Tommy. So what Bruce is saying is pretty much what we said. Tommy has been told to do that. He's been hired as the spaceman. Be the spaceman. When Bruce was hired, he was not hired to be the spaceman. He was hired to be Bruce. So when he played Ace songs, he had the freedom to put his personal spin on them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bruce is just such a diplomat, and just he's just got class written all over him, and he took it And he could have taken that one way and patted himself on the back, insulted Tommy, given shots. He doesn't do that.
Never. Nope.
And he took the parts of Ace's comment and he just didn't bring in the noise that Ace was doing it. You really think Ace was really coming on to talk about someone else's very good guitar playing? Or was it more of a way to fucking get the jabs in on Tommy by praising Bruce?
Of course. Absolutely.
Oh, you didn't have to copy me. You know, Bruce is a good guy. But he just wants to get people to shit on Tommy and hate on Tommy because Tommy's still in the band and maybe they'll call me up and I'll tour with them.
Tommy is, we've said this millions of times since the first time we saw them on the end of the road. Tommy is one of the reasons that they're touring right now.
They can continue to tour.
Exactly.
He's still a class act doing his shit. And Tommy's a good guy. He posted a photo recently of him playing the guitar behind the back of his head. He's like, it's not as easy as it looks, like making fun of himself.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Like that.
I do too. And I thought that was interesting and very cool because you don't see a lot of that from Tommy. He's pretty quiet on social media, but I thought it was cool that he posted a picture of him, you know, and had a little bit of fun with it. Like that was unusual. And I was actually kind of happy to see that.
Bruce had done some things where he was doing some questions and answering, dressing up for Halloween. Bruce has been awesome during the pandemic.
And he also got involved. And I'm sorry, finish before I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then Bruce also got involved in those Facebook live auctions that we talk about a lot too, which again, very cool. The way he is taking his time to engage with fans and just, you know, give fans something to be excited about. It's just, I know we say it all the time on the show, but Bruce is just the best. He just is.
He walks that line, or it doesn't look like, oh my God, look how desperate this guy is for either attention or money or anything like that. No, he walks the line where you're like, dude, he just, I don't think he really needs to do it, but I think he enjoys being around the fans and the music, and he enjoys that we want to talk about this stuff.
Exactly.
Something that he was part of. And I can't explain it. He just gets it.
Yep.
He gets it for the fans the same way Eric Carr used to get it. And sometimes Gene gets it.
I think Gene gets it a lot. I do. I think, but sometimes I think Gene is probably path of least resistance. He's like, although
he can't be too nice with everything. He'll never be able to walk or talk or do anything. He'll be so hit up with so much fucking requests and everything. I get it.
Although Gene does get a little passionate every once in a while on Twitter about, you know, America, and it might come across political, but it's not. Because I think we talk about this before, and a lot of fans out there know that how proud Gene is to have come to this country from where he came from, and how he, you know, created his own success. And I just think he's very proud of that, and he talks about that a lot on social media.
You sound like Terry Francona.
I sound like Terry Francona?
Yeah. I remember. I always think of Tom. Listen, I'm going to go and take a little detour. Me and Tom were part of that 2004 Miracle Fuck You comeback against those Yankees.
We were at the 19-8 game.
Yeah. Well, I was at all of them. I brought you for that game.
Exactly.
We were walking down Boylston Street afterwards in Com Ave, and everyone's like, that's it for the Sox. Down 3-0. Yep. Another fucking wasted year. This was supposed to be the year. And everyone's like throwing shit and stuff.
Yep.
But Francona used to, and then after that specific game, Tom, we were in the parking lot listening to the shit while we were trying to get out of there. And I remember, you know, these guys really work hard. I'm just so proud of them.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck? Why do you keep saying you're proud of these guys? They fucking suck. Stop saying you're proud of these guys. You always say, I'm just so proud of these guys. And next thing you know, they beat the fucking Yankees and then sweep the Cardinals and win the World Series. Yeah, Joey Casada. Take that.
617-422-10 Nation up next.
Okay, my man. We got Murph on line 2.
They were throwing
10 Nation.
Did I hear you say you had to dodge debris walking down Boylston Street?
And the fans, they were throwing things, and you had to stay in the stands and dodge debris. as things were getting thrown around, like the pizza incident in the bottle of the fucking thing.
Oh yeah,
that's another New England thing. I don't know. We're losing everybody.
How it's this is, and we say this every week. None of this is scripted. The only thing that's planned is the topic. Yeah. This is the fourth or fifth consecutive week we have found a way to bring in Boston sports talk radio. Just
because you started talking about Nesson and the games and the crowd.
Oh yeah.
There was an incident in Fenway Park where a foul ball was like landing in like third base side.
Yep.
And you're watching the guy trying to catch it with the beer, and then he misses the ball, and all of a sudden you see a fucking large cheese pizza get thrown through the air and smash the guy off the shoulder and hit his chin.
Go on YouTube and just search Red Sox pizza, and it'll show up. It'll show up.
And at the time it was Jerry Remy, and who was the other guy?
Don Orsillo, I think.
Don Orsillo. They couldn't stop fucking laughing. They're like, "Wait a minute, what the hell was that?"
Oh no, the
greatest. And they would have to review it to go back and be like, "Hold on," they're showing the guy like miss his beer, and then a fucking guy winds up.
Oh yeah,
takes a pizza slice and flings it across the air.
Yep,
and smacks the guy.
Oh yeah, they break it down like the Zapruder film. They slow it down. It's like the Seinfeld episode. It's like, nice game, pretty boy.
Yeah. The pizza fucking incident.
Popped up. Left side, ranging is Cabrera. Now coming is Anderson, and interfered with, no. Into the stands, the umpire ruling Tim Timmons, and one beverage less than they had before.
Wow, what's he got now? He's got mud on him and an alcoholic beverage. Let's see, how does this happen? It wasn't even him. Oh, wow, it's his buddy. Oh, where did the what was that came flying in?
I'm not so sure that was a mistake, which on his shoulder. It looks like somebody may have thrown some stuff on him just to add insult to injury.
I thought he rolled in the mud before he came to the game, but no, that's not correct. He got hit with some type of sub sandwich or something. Oh, now he wants a piece of it. You want to throw something
there
at me?
We go. Well, he's the Pepsi fan of the game until he gets thrown out.
Between innings, we did some investigative reporting on who and what was thrown at that gentleman, and that gentleman has been ejected, but it was an ugly, ugly sight. And I don't know why it was necessary. Now watch. I can't circle. I don't have my telestrator today, but here comes a pizza. See it? Oh, jeez.
Highly unnecessary.
That with the Patriots jacket, and of course he's been asked to leave the ball game for ruining a good piece of pizza. So let's get beer all over. And here comes
some pizza.
I wonder why did he do that? Because he thought he was interfering with a play? Or, I mean, it seemed totally unnecessary.
Just now getting the pizza off him.
Yeah, he was hot for a while, but I think the pizza thrower apologized, and he seemed to cool off a little bit. But I'd be kind of ticked off myself if somebody fired a pepperoni pizza at me. It seemed unprovoked, too.
It really did.
Just let it fly. One more look in slow motion if we can, and here's the Patriot. Here it comes.
I'm going to throw my pizza.
So the only thing, he didn't hit him with the cheese side. It hit him with
sauce first.
That was an awful sight here at Fenway, and that is not tolerated in this ballpark. He has been ejected and never again allowed to buy pizza.
Not so friendly.
I mean, think about how much it costs for a pizza.
Yep.
I mean, would you just fire at some guy?
I personally would not, no. I wonder about the thought process, though.
Well, honey, I'm going to the ball game today, and if I see some guy, I'm going to throw a piece of pizza at him.
Oh man.
My God, that was fucking incredible.
Oh.
Anyways, getting back to the KISS world.
Oh God.
The other thing I noticed, it was because it was Halloween, was Ace put up a photo. His fucking girl looks hot.
Dude, go ahead. I'm just
but he was dressed up as like the Saturday Night Live Tom Hanks character, David S. Pumpkins, whatever the fucking character was. And his face.
How, dude, you said it. We've said it every week. His girlfriend is hot.
She's hot.
And I'm sorry, whoever was bitching about it, he is a pumpkin Muppet. That's what he looked like. He's like the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Like that's
It just. Hold on a second. Let me get my Gucci shoes on for this photograph. Oh, hold on, honey. Hold on. I think I shit my pants. 1 second. Fuck. The things you do for love and money.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
She must really dig him. Good for him. But yeah, he dressed up like that. In the meantime, Gene Simmons
from KISS
was getting into arguments about something like yesterday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
About Amerigo Vespucci.
Yes, that's what
an
I'm talking
Italian
about.
map maker. Yeah. And going over a history lesson with somebody on Twitter named Juan Pablo Abu. The fucking Puerto Rican Arab guy. I don't know who the fuck Juan Pablo Abu is, but they were going into a battle about, is it United States or is it America? God bless Gene. He cracks me up. Oh my God.
But the thing I love about Gene's interaction is that that he's being serious, but he's also like, you can almost picture him being like, come on. He's never condescending. There's a way about him where he's never condescending to when he interacts on Twitter.
Do you know what I love about Gene Simmons? One of the many things I love about him, he loves knowledge. And
absolutely.
He's one of those people that likes to know things.
Yes.
And that's why, like, if you ever catch him, like the nerd of him comes out where he goes on these shows and somebody be like, well, I know every horror movie ever made from 1920. Are you talking about the French-made version of that?
Yeah.
From the 1800s? Or he knows his shit. Or comic books or stuff like that. He knows history. He loves that shit. And it's the nerd in him that comes out. Remember, he was a fucking teacher in Spanish Harlem.
Exactly.
So he enjoys that shit. And I love that. I'm the same way. I love learning things. You sit around and watch a fucking documentary on a fucking fruit fly sometimes because it's just knowledge. It's interesting shit. I just found it funny where he's Amerigo Vespucci.
Yeah. And before we get into our favorite pandemic political person, I want to read this tweet from Gene and kind of juxtapose it with Paul, because
stop using big words.
Okay. I want to read this tweet before we compare it to Paul's tweets.
Yeah, dumb it down. We have people like Sonny Pooney that listen.
I know,
dumb it down.
I was just about to say another big word. I was just going to say polysyllabic, but then I'm like, no. I won't say that either. So
what?
A few days before the election, Gene goes out and says, vote your conscience. It's nobody's business who you are voting for. Stop talking politics with your friends and family. You will not win any argument you may have. We are all Americans. Remember that. And all I can think of is, how the fuck do you exist with Paul Stanley?
Yeah.
Which leads us to Paul Stanley, Pandemic Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, but before you get to Paul.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This hasn't happened to you where you fucking say something and then like somebody else at the dinner table on Thanksgiving says, yeah, but did you know this and that? And you sit and they go, wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to vote Republican this time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to become a Democrat. Congratulations. You convinced me over a logical discussion. Well, over a dinner table. Thank you.
Well, that's like you see a ton of things like that on social media. Somebody commented, I think it was some musician or some celebrity, and they said vote, whatever. And the person was like, I wasn't gonna vote at all, but now that the lead singer of Creed told me to go out and vote for fucking whatever, you know what I mean? It's true. It's true. But, hey, people are passionate. They like to talk about what they feel. Sometimes people just like to get it out there, not looking for a response. You just like to get it out there. Sometimes I'm guilty of that too, and it is what it is. But we got another one in the tally of Paul Stanley rest in peace messages.
Oh.
Another one. I don't know who this person is. Rest in peace. I know who the band Uriah Heep is, but apparently rest in peace, Ken Hensley. Paul wrote, Uriah Heep toured with us in the 70s. We were thrilled to have them share the stage with us. A classic British powerhouse with a slew of killer songs and soaring harmonies. Ken was a huge part of their success and a true rock star. I know Uriah Heep was huge in the 70s. I don't really know too much about them, but we bring this up because Paul finds the way to do another rest in peace for a non-KISS family-related member. So,
because he likes to be in the roundup of, other people are talking about
bingo.
Sending their regards.
Yep.
Paul Stanley of KISS said this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and Paul is still doing his normal shit, annoying the fuck out of a lot of his fans. And, we say this all the time. We don't come into this with, hey, let's do a Paul Stanley fucking shit thing to start the episode.
It just happens.
Yeah, I mean, we're not looking to shit on the dude. We fucking love Paul Stanley, but it's just a matter of I don't know. Stores and houses are boarding up for the fear of violence and reprisals after Election Day. What has this country become? How did we get here? When did the coexistence of accepting of different opinions go from being the fabric of American democracy to defining your enemy? All right, love God.
Exactly. Just shut up, dude. Stop.
But the thing I really wanted to discuss with
I know. Go for it.
21 years ago on Halloween 1999, the Phantom of the Opera closed its 10-year run in Toronto. With 8 shows a week and nightly standing ovations, my contract was extended, and I was honored to be the final Phantom. I never worked harder or felt more blessed. I'd pat you on the back, Paul, but your fucking hand is in the way.
First of all, you never worked harder or felt more blessed than doing that.
Hey, Kiss Army thanks you for all the comments. Oh, so
yeah,
performing for us all these years that have given you a fucking career is not as important. Working hard or felt more blessed for all the shit that all the performances we've gone to. But performing for some fucking snobs in Toronto, the fucking entertainment mecca of the world, that was being blessed by those fucking snobs.
What, because he got a Tony for Scarsdale Surprise like fucking Kramer? First of all, this fits into the exact narrative that we've talked about, that what you call him, he wants to be a Renaissance man. Yep. What this tweet is, we talk about all the time.
Validation.
And it sheds the KISS image off of him and creates a more noble version of himself for people on social media to see. Look at him. He was on Broadway. He played the Phantom. I've never worked harder in my life. Dude, you're the fucking star child. This is great that you did that. We're happy for you, and it's great. But you never worked harder. You felt more blessed than that? Okay, dude. All right. You're not going to get that from us on this show, but whatever you want.
It never ends.
Nope. But I will say this. He has been quiet since Election Day in terms of politics. He hasn't said a word about what's going on, so I'm anxious to see that.
Dude, you wrote "Give Me More."
Please, that's the fucking worst song on that album.
No one's fucking putting you up there with Mozart, okay? Just stop.
Nah, I know.
Okay.
That's the weekly Paul banter. Do we want to give Paul the go fuck yourself award of the week? I'm kidding. I am kidding. Of course I'm kidding.
No.
I know.
I think the go fuck me award. Let's think, Tom. Do you want to take it this week or you want me to? Because I got plenty of them I could go.
If you have plenty of options, go for it.
Yeah. I would like to pick someone, and that would be all these fucking morons during this whole fucking election shit that can't put aside their differences. I played high school sports. I was an athlete, not now. I was a jock. I went to college. I partied and drank with all those type of guys. 90%, I would say maybe 95% of my friends are Republicans. Mm-hmm. I am the only liberal Democrat of all my friends, probably. And maybe a couple that I know of. I have other friends in the attorneys. I have my brother. They're all fucking Republicans, surrounded by them. I don't fucking have problems with them.
Nope.
We talk politics. We joke. We give each other shit every once in a while. I get along with them. So the Go Fuck Me award should go to all those people that are so fucking adamant that I can't be friends with you. You can't be friends with me. You're a fucking asshole. You're a fucking shitbag. Oh, you support racists. Oh, you fucking support all the fucking Antifa people. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't think Black Lives Matter. You think Black Lives Matter. Like all that shit. Dude,
it's the same thing. You're already seeing things about, how to talk politics with your family at Thanksgiving. Like, if you can't have like a civil discussion at all and just have an exchange of ideas without, like, I see people on Twitter like who legitimately like may not spend Thanksgiving with their family because they don't want to talk. They can't handle a discussion about this. Like, you need to friggin' re-examine your life. You really do.
Yeah, your politics suck, but I don't give a fuck. You took the last fucking drumstick. I am going to fucking stab you.
Pretty much.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's what it goes to.
Pretty much.
Fuck about your politics. Who ate the last fucking yams?
Exactly. Ooh, candy yams. Ooh.
Ooh, Aunt Bertha's got that fat ass moving today.
Ooh. So anyways, after all that, if you want to take advantage of that, you would go to adamandeve.com with the promo code Loudcast. We talk about it every week. You go in there, pick your items, add them to your cart. You enter in the little coupon code, promo code section. You put in Loudcast, one word. It's going to throw on a ton of extra stuff. Free gifts, free shipping, a bunch of spicy movies. You can't go wrong. We say it all the time.
Maybe you can find like fucking Scooby-Doo spoof porn on there.
Oh, absolutely. You could buy that. Maybe some sexy Daphne outfit or maybe a sexy Fred Ascot.
Maybe some doggone girl porn.
I was just going to say, maybe some kind of sexy dog outfit. Who knows?
Maybe some sexy bestiality movies. Who knows?
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. But anyways, adamandeve.com, promo code Loudcast. Check it out. Holidays are coming up soon. You never know. You might want, a friggin' foot-long strap on your stocking this year. Who knows?
Oh, go fuck yourself with that. Oh.
That might be our next KISS draft.
What's that? Porn stars?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have
the first pick. I take Ginger Lynn from the 1980s.
All right. That's a good one. It's a good one.
What do you got coming up?
Oh, boy. This would be tough. If we're going 80s, I got to go Christy Canyon. If we're going 90s, I got to go Jenna Jameson.
Oh, yeah. Christy Canyon's got fat tits.
And she's got that untrimmed landscape going on down there, too. She needs that Adam and Eve weed whacker.
You don't know when the guy's going down or if it's his 80s mustache or bush.
She ain't wearing no bikini.
And then with the second pick.
Oh, here we go. We're really going to do this.
Who was the porn chick that was smoking in the 90s we saw?
Which one?
Tori something.
Tori Wells. Tori
yes.
Wells.
There you go. Number 2. Where you going?
I'm going to draft Peter North.
By the way, for all you guys out there, we had an intramural floor hockey team.
Greatest name ever.
At Stonehill, and we were called the Peter North Stars.
That is the greatest sports name ever. The
North Stars. Who was the kid? There was a kid at Stonehill.
We used to call him Peter North. Yeah, we used to call him Peter North.
Like him.
Yeah.
We'd call him. He'd walk by and go, Peter North.
Yep. I don't know if he was fucking throwing ropes like Peter North did at the end of each scene.
Peter North would splash women like a fat guy falling into a pool.
Dude, if he could fucking put the best bakery out of business with the fucking decorating he did.
He could fucking liquidate all those fucking like 1,000 Cinnabons with his fucking juice from like a mile away.
How did this this is what happens with these episodes. You just bring up one thing and the next thing you know, we're talking about Peter North and Cinnabon.
And fucking pornstar draft. Anyways, let's steer the car back into the lane.
God, I'm dying right
get
now.
off topic and get back on topic, and that is we are doing a mailbag shitbag episode.
Yes. All right. So we send out the red button, and you guys know what that means. And we want to thank you, everybody who contributed to questions.
Yes.
We got a ton, and we're not going to get through them all tonight. And if we don't get through it tonight, we'll get to it eventually, because at the end of every regular episode, we do a viewer question. But we like to catch up on these questions and kind of just, go through them. And it's, it's a nice informal episode for us. And it's off the cuff. We don't study these questions. We don't really see them. We just kind of go through.
I don't see them at all. Tom clips them and he saves them all. And
I clip them and I don't even really read them.
Right.
So this will be the first time we'll be kind of blowing through them. So here's a good one to start off.
Did you say blowing through them?
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be a running theme. It's gonna be like the fucking porn mailbag.
Well, speaking of Peter North, we got a question from Kevin Northern. Not Kevin North. This is an email question from Kevin Northern. He says, if Mark St. John had never come into the KISS picture, which of these two scenarios would you have rather seen? 1, Bruce joins the band and plays on Animalize. Or 2, Vinny stays in the band to write and record Animalize.
I love Bruce, but there's no way Vinny would last in KISS. So if I could sneak out another episode out of Vinny, I would take that, because his songwriting would have been awesome. Because if he had any of those songs in his back pocket that ended up on All Systems Go, and he put that in with KISS, God, that would be incredible. And eventually Bruce will still join the band, because there's no way Vinny's going more than 2 albums with him. So I would say I would go with Vinny, and that's a fucking awesome way to start this.
Yeah, that's why I kind of had this one loaded to kick off. That's a great one, because this is a tough one for me, because I absolutely love Bruce. I love Bruce, but I think Zeus said it the best. If you can get a little bit more out of Vinny, I want a little bit more out of Vinny. I am a Vinny fan. I know that we make jokes about what he does outside of KISS and how he's crazy and he may or may not show up for his appearances, et cetera, et cetera. But his songwriting is off the fucking charts. And to get another album with him, I think would have been great. And again, that's coming from somebody who may be the president of the Bruce Kulick fan club. But what Vinny can offer in terms of songwriting, and I think that the style of album that Animalize was, I think it would have suited Vinny great. It would have been insane with him. Can you picture him on like Under the Gun? His fucking guitar probably would have burst into flames. Yeah, he would have been amazing,
or just opening.
Right. Yeah. I've had enough. I mean, it would have been awesome. No, that's a great question, Kevin. And I'd like to hear what other people think too. I mean, you could almost do an episode on that. So that's a great way to start. And thank you for that one. So let's see. Let's jump back into the mailbag and see what we got. Here, this one comes from the Star Pod Log and Star Trek Podcast. This is an email. So they must follow us, which is great. I'm not a Star Trek guy. I'm a Star Wars guy. But if you're a Star Trek guy, check these guys out. So they had their question was, if KISS had removed their makeup earlier in the 80s, how would it have affected their career? So they took it off and then did Lick It Up.
Early in the 80s.
Earlier than that. We don't really talk about this too much because we haven't really covered that era. We reviewed the Unmasked album, but we never really got into.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think it would be exactly the same if they took it off of Creatures of the Night. Okay. I think because the albums are similar. They're sister albums, I think. And the sound is similar. I think their career would have been just the same as if they did that then. Now, if they took it off during Unmasked, because that's really the first introduction of a new member. I don't know. I mean, I think honestly, I don't think it would have really done anything because I think by the time we're talking the 80s,
Yep.
KISS was already done.
Yep.
They were out of favor. So taking the makeup off any earlier really wouldn't have made a difference, I don't think. I don't think keeping the makeup on really helped them out much better. We like it because we got to see two characters come into it that weren't ever going to show up, the Fox and the Ankh Warrior, right? Or the Wiz, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So I think that, but, for their career-wise, I think it would be the same. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Yeah, probably. I probably agree. I think for me, I think they took the makeup off at the perfect time. And for a few reasons similar to what Zeus said. I think, A, it allowed us to get the new character in the Fox. It allowed us to get the new character in the Vinny Ankh Warrior. And I think if they took the makeup off in conjunction with, say, the Elder.
Did you just say conjunction junction?
What's your function? Hooking up. All right, sorry.
Go ahead.
But I think if you combined the Elder with removing the makeup, say those two things happened at the same time, like there, I think that could have been a disaster because I think that would have been too much for KISS fans to accept them with no makeup and to accept them with this concept album that most people hated to begin with.
Got a great point there. I think it might have been too much. Yeah, you're right. Maybe in the sense that it allowed them to get to the point where people are like, okay, well, they're still not bad. Okay. They're doing a little bit more rock. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, now they took the makeup off. Rather than, what the fuck is this?
I think the only thing they could have done was probably take the makeup off for Creatures of the Night. They could have done that. But I'll tell you right now, they looked fucking insane in that era with makeup. That stage set with the tank, Vinny, the band was like we talked about this before. The band was like a metal band then, and I think that the outfits and the makeup looked amazing. Because let's admit it, Lick It Up is awesome, but when they took the makeup off, the band they didn't really know they didn't really know how to act, especially Gene. We know that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it really would have affected their career at all. I mean, if you're talking about if they took the makeup off, like, say for Dynasty or something, I mean, that could have been
with all four members. Wow.
That's what I mean. Like,
there was no reason when Dynasty came out, they were still at its high. Dynasty.
Right.
They still had a huge song and they came out and they were still selling. The tour didn't do well.
Right. But that's a great.
Take the makeup off. You're crazy. Take the makeup off. You're crazy.
You're crazy. Great question, though. Starpod Log. That was awesome. Thank you very much. We love that. So let's dig back in to the mailbag. Oh, and here, you know what? Here's a good one because we sprinkled in a little political talk here, not too much. Mm-hmm. This is kind of an easy answer for me. This is from Stephen Wood. Is there anyone that you would not have as a guest on your podcast due to their political opinions or unsavory conduct? The separation of art versus artist has always fascinated me. You want to start with this?
No, I would love to have, I fucking hate Donald Trump. I hate Donald Trump Jr. I'd have him on because I think I could toe-to-toe argue with them and debate them. So I'm not scared of them. I would have them on any day to talk to them. I'm just thinking of people to me, I would rather confront somebody and call them out. Like Stewart, I'd love to have him on and just fucking discuss KISS and go after his opinion about how he's hypocritical about a lot of the shit about KISS, that he gives them hard times, that he doesn't give other people. I can't think of anybody that I wouldn't have on. It'd have to be somebody that I just don't like.
What about somebody? What about
you?
What about you, fucking? What about forget about the political angle? What about he references unsavory conduct, like somebody who's a legitimate piece of shit that may have been involved with something in the media, whether it a crime or some kind of involvement, to me.
That's that. I already said it. Donald Trump Jr.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I would still have them on, and I think that of them.
Okay.
So that's my opinion of them. So you can say, would you have, for you, Hunter Biden on our show?
Honestly, this question's easy for me to answer. I think the more controversial and more differing of the guest, I think to me would be more entertaining because I enjoy having a discussion. It wouldn't be a bunch of ranting and raving and insulting and bashing. It would be like Zeus said, whether it's somebody, whether it's a political person or whether it's somebody like Eddie Trunk or whether it's somebody like, we always make fun of, like somebody like, say, Sebastian Bach or Dee Snider. I don't agree with them politically, but I would love to. I think it would be great to have them on and talk music and talk politics. And because I think that a problem that a lot of these guys have on social media is it's very easy to tweet out what you feel, whether you love Trump or hate Trump or whatever, and then just kind of hide behind that social media platform and take your time and delete and edit your response. Having somebody on a show and having a discussion, I think that would be great. And unsavory conduct, I don't know. Who would that be? Who would that be? I don't know.
We have a KISS podcast.
Right.
So if I can get fucking Dr. Dre on, what's the point? Maybe for a bonus episode on that, but I can't bring him on to talk about KISS.
Right.
So if I had a popular podcast and I was who's the fucking schmuck now, the big guy, what's his face now? I'm drawing a blank. The most popular podcast.
Oh, Joe Rogan. So
if I was Joe Rogan and I could interview anybody, if I had his power and I could do people and stuff like that, I'd be like, and I was an influencer, I'd be like, I don't want fucking Kim Kardashian on there. Fuck her.
Right.
I can't stand her and her fucking family. And I can't stand what they stand for, and I don't want them on my show. I don't want to give them the platform. But, like, I'm not giving them a platform. If, like, Kim Kardashian want to come on our show, like, who the fuck am I to be like, oh, I'm not giving you the platform. Like, dude, fuck off. You know what I mean?
I'd be like, ooh, you got a fat ass.
Yeah.
But here we go. Speaking of unsavory conduct, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if the guy's still alive. But we talk about Steve, the pedophile Cornell. Okay, the guy has a history with KISS. He knows Gene. If we had the opportunity to have him on the show, would we?
Yes.
Okay.
I would.
Me too.
I'd be him. I'd say, well, and I'd bring it up. I would have to kind of bring it up, wouldn't you?
Yes.
The elephant in the room. Can we get it out of the way?
Yep.
I don't want to discuss it, but this so happened. Did you pay your debt to society? Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's move on.
Agreed. No, it's a great question, Stephen, and I think it's a good question. I think it's interesting because in this culture right now, a lot of people like to surround themselves with like-minded people, and that can be very, very, very boring.
You heard what I said earlier. 90% of my friends are Republicans.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't either. But I think having a guest on with a differing opinion, I think it would be amazing to have Eddie Trunk on here because I would just love to pick his brain and talk to him about his feelings and stuff like that. So great question, and I think you get the gist of our answer. So,
you know what, Tom?
So Stephen, thank you for that.
I'm also thinking of one other thing. As far as our podcast friends, I'm thinking out loud, I would say it's probably about 75% of Republicans.
Maybe. Yeah.
I would think that most of them are Republicans.
I would say, to be honest, I would say they're Republicans, or I don't know their political leanings, to be honest with you.
I can tell you they're not Democrats. The only one that I know is a Democrat that's kind of like myself would be Baco. I know he puts his shit out there.
Oh,
that's about it.
He's passionate. Yep.
Yeah, I think he does that, and our good buddy Jay at the Hook Rocks, I think he is as well. Everybody else, is on Team Tom.
Come on, it's not a team, but I know I hear what you're saying.
Oh, don't get all fucking sensitive, you motherfucking, you fascist, you fucking.
That's right. Line them up and take them down. Fuck them all.
What do we got next, buddy?
So we got a little. This one's a little bit more lighthearted. This is from our friend. This is from our friend Graham Richley on Twitter. He says, "Does the podcast take up way more of your time than you expected? I can't even imagine doing all you do and having a day job." You want to start with this, or you want me to start with this?
Why don't you take it first?
Okay, so I'll start by answering that. admittedly, the workload is not 50-50 on this. And that's no, I know Zeus likes to play that off, but it's not. We spend a lot of time. We're very, very organized. And I will say that I'm proud of that. We're very, very organized. And I think we're very OCD. We want to put a product out there that we can be proud of and that our listeners can enjoy. And that's everything that the two of us do is very organized and A+ effort. So we hope that comes through. So we come up with a topic. We try to record on Wednesday or Thursday. So tonight we're recording on a Thursday. By the time this call is done, hopefully we will know what we're doing for next week. If not, we'll know by Friday or Saturday. And then depending on the depth and the detail of the topic, if it's an album review or a DVD, we will spend a lot of our time researching, taking notes, doing our homework, and putting everything together. Then we schedule a time when we can record. And then during the week, we're managing all the social media and interacting with you guys. Then I'm going to hand it over to Zeus, because then Zeus has the difficult part, and without the part that he does, you wouldn't hear our show.
No, it's just a matter of after the episode is done. So we're recording tonight on Thursday night. It's 9:30. I have to have this episode up and running, ready to go before midnight tomorrow night. Right. We usually don't record on Thursdays because, there's too much editing. So we've gone from editing where it took me, I've finished the episode. I'll throw on the beginning. I'll throw on the end, which is the intro.
Good night. We love you.
Yeah. And the exit. I used to just do that. Then I realized and figured out how I could do clips. When I did the clips, I figured that out on my own. Kind of like when I was like 10 years old and realized, ooh, this feels good when I touch that. I'm like, oh, I can do this. So I just kind of learned how to do it. And then it kind of created a monster. Yep. And all of a sudden I'm fucking doing a clip because I have all these jerky boy thoughts and all the shit that we say to each other. So I have to put this in. Next thing I know, I'm putting 40 clips an episode. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't do this. Then, I got people that love the clips. I got people that don't love the clips. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm reducing them. Then I started going, look, let's get some bumpers. Now we have a bumper. I have a spreadsheet. I have to go through all that stuff. Then we have themes. If there's a theme, what do I have to do? I still get some clips I do, and not as much as I used to, but you know what they are. So after we end this episode, if the episode goes a couple hours, I will have to do the editing. The editing of this episode will probably, I listen to the whole episode. I get rid of our sometimes when I do that,
Mr. Tipton.
Yes. Or the, so like the Movons, sometimes when, I was going down, and I was trying to listen, I got to get rid of all those.
Don't tell people, don't tell people that we don't sound brilliant.
Or the middle of the episode that you might hear. I try to get rid of those and edit everything. So by listening to the 2-hour episode, I probably will do another additional 2 hours. So make that 4 hours of editing.
Yep.
Now I put myself behind the 8 ball because we're doing this episode on Thursday night. I have to do 4 hours to get this thing done. In the end, it's like a schedule. I have my life. Tommy has his life. I have a beautiful 12-year-old daughter. Tom has a high school son. Forget how old he is.
16 and a half.
16 and a half. And he's married. He's got his home life. I've got my life. Tom works. He's more of a 9-to-5 kind of guy. He's got his hours. I'm self-employed attorney. Yep. So sometimes I'll work at midnight doing stuff, or sometimes I'll sleep until 10 in the morning. I don't give a shit. I find my time. I do my work. And around that, we do all this stuff. Tom handles all social media. I try to jump in every once in a while when I get in the mood. I jump on that. I handle the Instagram one. Tom does most of the stuff. So he's the one who's usually responding, posting everything all the time. We're lucky he has a job that he can kind of sneak that shit in.
Yep.
And so between all that stuff, yeah, it's hard. But I have a partner that is 50-50. Even if Tom said to me, I want to do the editing, I'd probably tell him no. I'm the type of personality that I would rather do it and bitch about doing it than let somebody else do it and
then
bitch
bitch
to
about
them.
it. Yep.
You know, like, you're not fucking doing it right. You're not doing, because you know what he's going to say to me after 2 seconds? Fine.
Fuck you.
You do it.
Yep.
So I'd rather do it and bitch to myself that I'm doing it. But I know he's doing shit. Like this week, I moved, as I was saying. I didn't do anything this last couple of weeks, mostly because I've been moving. He's taking care of it. When you have a partner, you guys have to have a kind of a confidence, like a respect that you know that they can handle it. I am not upset if I put in more time than him. He doesn't give me shit like, dude, are you going to fucking reply to any of these people? He doesn't give me shit about it. I don't give him shit about it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. We bounce ideas off each other. Nobody comes up. Sometimes he's more passionate about something. Run with it. Sometimes I am. It works. We'd be texting each other regardless of this podcast. So now we text each other podcast shit. What do you want to do this week? Do you want to do this? No, we already did a compilation review. Let's do one in 2 weeks. Oh, what about this guy? Oh, when are we going to get this guest on? It shit happens. That doesn't take much. You're talking to your friend, so it's not really work. The only thing that I would say is work is the fact that I know no matter what, I have to have this episode done, ready by midnight on Friday, and the same thing for YouTube. I have to have it all ready to go. That's it. Everything else, I'll figure it out. We have our schedule. We follow it. We have a list of episode ideas we want to do. We have a list of plan that shit out. We don't fucking go into this shit blind 20 minutes before an episode.
Never.
Wink, wink. And say, hey, what are we talking about this week? This week we're going to talk about, why don't we talk about Ace Frehley? He's pretty cool. Okay. Like, we don't do that shit.
Nope.
I feel, to me, and I don't care if I'm stepping on toes, I don't give a fuck. I feel it's disrespectful to you. I think it's disrespectful to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to fucking shoot the shit and just talk to Tom. Look, even if we're just talking like we are today on a mailbag episode, it's still organized in some sense.
Yep.
Okay? It's fluid, but it's not fucking, rigid and boring. And so it's just, it is a level of respect to one another. And more importantly, there's a respect to you that we put the time in, that we do this. We are not like a few other podcasts, which are fucking incredible if you're in the mood for it, which, like Julian Gill runs his podcast. If you're in the mood for that, that shit's awesome. We're not going to out Julian Gill in describing fucking some real niche thing of KISS. We're going to come at it with the facts and try to put a fun spin on it. God bless him for what he does. Everybody has a different niche. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm actually praising the man. And there are other podcasts that do it too as well. Everybody's different, but you know what you guys get from us. So now that I'm off I'll get off the soapbox now. But Tom, anything you want to add?
No, that's true. And it's funny because like we've been doing this and what we do is we record the same week that we release our episodes. That's just the way we are.
Yeah. So, that's the other thing that's different with us than everyone else.
So there's a lot of shows out there, and it's not a criticism for anybody listening to this. It is not a criticism. It's just more of a commentary and an observation that there are people out there that record a couple episodes, maybe bank a few episodes, and then just release them to stay on schedule. I think this falls under the category of Zeus and I just being very OCD, and we want to be timely and current. And it keeps us on our toes. We record every week, and every week that episode drops on Saturday. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. There was one time last summer where we had to record 2 episodes in 1 week because I was going to be away on vacation, and we banked it and dropped it. Other than that, we record every week. We drop every week. And then our week, for me at least, our week kind of revolves around the show. We drop the episode on Saturday. We publish it on social media. We keep up with all the comments. Monday, we do a poll. We're retweeting and reposting things during the week. Thursday, we do a coming soon teaser. Friday, we do a Flashback Friday. I have an entire log of every Flashback Friday that I do so that I keep them fresh. I'm like, oh, okay, the last 4 Fridays have been 70s makeup KISS. Today, I'm going to throw a Crazy Nights picture or something like that and try to keep it fresh in rotation. And then next thing you know, we're back around to Saturday. The weeks go by fast, and it's revolving around KISS, and it's revolving around this show. So it is awesome. If it's taken up time, it's a good time, believe me. It never ever feels like a burden ever.
No. And in addition to that, we will do the flashback episode either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And if I don't do it, it's usually because we actually threw in a bonus episode.
Yep.
Because we like to punish ourselves, but we wanted a second release of to talk about stuff instead of waiting for our friends to invite us on their shows. Like, fuck it, let's do our own, just on bonus episode, albums that we love. We discussed this by October. We were already planning it last year. What do we want to do? How do we want to make this different? Who do we want on? Boom, let's talk to Sonny. We came up with a plan. Do this. Wink, wink. Season 3 is coming up.
Yep.
Just stay tuned. You'll see what we're talking about. We want you guys to feel like there's something new going on with us. We don't want to be the same podcast or the same stuff or run out of ideas or run out of stuff. We'll always spice it up. And just because we did an album review doesn't mean we won't go back to that album. You'll see.
Yep.
We've already planned that ahead. Yep. So there are different things going on because we want to make it, just like KISS says, we wanted to be the band that we wanted to see. We want to be the podcast that you want to hear. Stupid shit.
Yep.
2 idiots fucking talking crazy stories. Love of KISS, love of music, and entertaining you guys. So I think that was a pretty fucking long answer, but I hope this helps you guys out and understand what we do. Mm-hmm. And a
little peek behind a little peek behind the curtain, if shall we say. So, yeah. But thank you for the question. That was great, and I think our answer was very, very thorough. So, thank you for that. So we're going to go to another question. It's kind of short. I have the answer to this one. If you want to jump in, by all means, you can. This is from Twitter. This is from SV Puga, and it's a very simple question. And he just says, "Why is Sonic Boom not in the Spotify catalog? Do you guys have any idea?" Yes, I do. Sonic Boom is not available on any streaming service, and it's not available anywhere because of the exclusivity rights with Walmart. For anybody that remembers, that was a Walmart exclusive. They did a big KISS corner. They had Sonic Boom and all this KISS merchandise. It was a huge, big promo when Sonic Boom came out. Those exclusivity rights, I do not believe they have expired. I don't think they have, because if they have, you would be able to find this album. It's not on iTunes. It's not on Spotify. It's nowhere. It's also nowhere available legally on vinyl. The only time this was ever available on vinyl was when the album dropped back, whatever year it was. Forgive me for not remembering the year. There are bootleg colored versions of this that are available. They're affordable and they're cheap. You didn't hear that from me. But you're not going to find Sonic Boom anywhere. I don't even know if you can buy the CD anywhere, to be honest with you. And if you can, you probably have to get it direct through Walmart or look for it somewhere on eBay. I wanted to bring this question up, not so much to answer you, to give you the answer you wanted, but I thought we could maybe spend a minute or two or 10 minutes or whatever about how weird this was that KISS did this, that they would engage themselves in an exclusivity contract with a retailer and then lock themselves into this and not be able to get their fans access to an album that, okay, it's not great, but I like it. I'm a fan of some of Sonic Boom. I'd say maybe half of it I really like. I don't know. Thoughts on Sonic Boom, Zeus? What do you think about? I mean, I understand Gene's the marketer, and he thought that's what this was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just, Gene, let's try something different. Streaming service sucks. You're talking about when did this come out? 2010, 9? What did
I think it was 10 or 11, maybe. No, wait, 2012
was Monster.
Yes, okay, so it was 8 then. I think it was 8.
Right? Yeah. So if you're thinking about it, right, what was streaming service back then? It wasn't what it is now.
No.
So they were probably thinking, let's just do it this way and try it out and see what happens.
Yep.
They did it that way, and they probably, it's no coincidence they didn't do it again.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because I remember it was a huge thing, and they had Sonic Boom, and then they had all these crazy Kiss items. You know, I think they had like teddy bears and Mr. Potato Heads and Kiss M&Ms, and it was like a huge marketing blitz with this album
commercial.
Yes, yep, they did, and it was all Walmart, and again,
09 it came out.
09, okay. So it's been 11 years, and the album is still nowhere to be found. I've heard a lot of people talk about that, and I that's why I kind of wanted to answer that in case people weren't aware of why you can't find it anywhere. That's why you can blame Walmart, or you can blame Gene Simmons from Walmart. So that's why Sonic Boom doesn't exist.
Good one.
Yeah. So that was just that was a good one to kind of get out there. Let's jump back into the mailbag and see what we have here. All right, this is a quick one. I think we may have talked about this. I don't recall, but this is from our friend via email, Mr. Wesley Beach, who is very interactive with us. Wesley, former member of the Plasmatics, friend in new Gene Simmons. So we've come to communicate with him on social media and email. Very basic question, Zeus. I'll let you take this one first. Best Kiss concert you saw and why?
I think we've discussed this. So for me, it's
okay.
The reunion, probably.
Okay.
The reunion, it was me, you, Murph, and I think McLucas.
Yep.
The same kid that dressed up as Kiss with us for Halloween.
That's
at
right.
Stonehill College.
Yep.
And it was just surreal. I'll never forget listening to him and seeing it. And the I don't know, it was like that slow-mo Rocky hugging Apollo Creed.
Oh, in the beach.
In the beach.
In the beach.
Like that uncomfortableness now, but back then it was like we look at each other and we're like, oh, we're doing this. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And the other one would have been last year when I saw them with my daughter, but she didn't like it.
Yeah.
She didn't like the band. So,
yeah. Yeah, I would say, I'll always have a sweet spot for the very, very first time I saw them, the 1990 Hot in the Shade tour, just because it was the first time. But obviously there was no makeup. But that first reunion tour at the Garden, it was just absolutely unbelievable. And
that's the first time I saw them.
Yeah, I think that was your first. I think that was it.
First time I saw them too.
Yep. And then after that, I think the Garden show for End of the Road with my son. And you and Murph. Yeah. That was just a great memory, and it was just so exciting because he had never seen him before. We had seats right dead center. They played his favorite song, "Calling Dr. Love." That was just a great memory. And who knows? Hopefully, there's many more of those memories coming soon. Next year or whatever.
Put the caveat out there. Go ahead.
If they ever tour again, yeah, I know. So, but Wesley, thank you, buddy. Maybe we'll have to have you on this show in person and talk about Kiss a little bit more. So thank you. Thank
absolutely.
you for that. Thank you for that question. Here comes one from I Love It Louder. Would you see the band in its current configuration play without makeup and play songs from all eras?
Buddy, I would see them in their pajamas play the Monster album back and forth 15 times. Are you kidding me? Of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but go ahead.
I would.
Okay.
I would. Yes, of course. Absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, not only would I see that, I would pay double for that.
Yeah, I prefer it than seeing the End of the Road shit now.
Actually, honestly, that's a great point. I would prefer that. If they said, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have scrapped the End of the Road tour. We're now going to do a flashback tour, and we're going to do all non-make. We're going to go back to the non-makeup era. I would get fucking front row seats.
Did you say they're going to go back to the Stone Ages?
Oh, God. I can never say back to anything.
I like it. I like it.
I'm interested to see when I Love It Louder, when he asked this question, if he thought that anybody would say like no to this. And I don't mean that as an insult. I'm being sincere. Like, are there people that would be like, no, I don't want to see them with no make. I want this.
No, I don't want to see this. I want to hear Love Gun again.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them play X-Ray Eyes. I want to hear Love It Loud.
Oh, please. No. But I would love that. I would love. I wish that would be something that they would consider down the road. Maybe it will. We talked about that. Small club shows, no makeup, acoustic, or something. But I'll save that because that might be another question down the road here. Anything you want to jump on that one?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's jump back into the mailbag here. Our buddy Tony Smith. No shit sandwich questions from him tonight, which is good. Your opinion, should the Millennium Concert and KISS Rocks Vegas, should they have been called KISS Alive 5 and KISS Alive 6 instead?
No.
Ooh. Explain.
No.
Explain.
No, they're not in that category. It wasn't a special event. Alive 3, look, we have a real live KISS series on our show.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, we know what we really think. But the fact of the matter is, Alive 3 came out at a time where it should have came out earlier, but it came out at a decent time. Alive 4 is the symphony version of that. What would have really been the difference between Alive 3 and the next Alive? There's no more additional songs except for 1 or 2 albums released since then. How many albums did they release since then? 5?
Yeah.
They don't play anything off those 5 albums anyway. So what's the point? I'm going to hear another version of the same songs that are either on 1, 2, and 3? At least Alive 4 is symphony. It's different. So no, that's my answer.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me either way. I think it's more of just a kind of a cosmetic title thing. I will say this. I do think it's interesting that they did Alive 4 Symphony and then just gave up on the Alive name. Maybe just nothing else was.
There's an Alive 5 coming out once they do the End of the Road, definitely.
They won't call it that. They'll call it End of the Road.
You'll see.
Okay. Oh, you got inside scoop. Are you friends with are you friends with the critic? You know what's going on? But no, that's a good question. I'd like to see. I mean, to me, again,
Chip Magoo.
Chip. I like that name better than Doc McGee. Chip Magoo. Fucking Mr. Magoo. Oh God.
Same. Hey. What's up? Hey, how you doing, Doc McGee? Hey, what's Chip Magoo?
All right, here's one. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one. This is from Twisted Kister. If Paul and or Gene had left KISS in 1984, who would you have picked to take their spots? So the band. So the band is. So the band is Eric Carr, Bruce Kulick, Paul Stanley, and blank, and Gene Simmons and blank.
An unknown. I don't want somebody I know. It doesn't work.
I think that's a fair answer because at that point, I think you're right because they replaced Peter Criss with Eric Carr, an unknown. All the replacement guy, and I don't mean to use the term replacement in a derogatory. I mean it in the literal term. They replaced. They were all unknown guys. Mm-hmm. They weren't plucking guys from bands that were huge.
I mean, Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer are the most known guys they put in.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
But by that point, it doesn't have its big same thing.
No,
you're not replacing the 2 main guys. You know what I mean?
I don't think replacing Paul and Gene with another no name. I mean, say you replace Paul Stanley with, I don't know, fucking Sebastian Bach or something. It's just not going to work.
You need some. So you know what I would say? You replace him with Tom Kiefer, the lead singer who plays rhythm guitar. Right?
Yeah, but okay, fine. If you're going to pick a name, fine. I love Tom Kiefer.
Gene Simmons, you replace him with everyone's like, oh, Blackie Lawless, because they're both crazy and they both play bass and stuff, and their voices are whatever. No, I don't want Blackie Lawless and KISS.
I'm not a Wasp fan, but I fucking love Blackie's voice. I think his voice is awesome. But you're right.
It's not. It doesn't make sense. You got to put somebody different in.
That's the thing. It's a copycat. You try, but by bringing Blackie Lawless in, you're trying to get another Gene Simmons. You can't do that.
You don't need to put a star into KISS.
Right.
Being in KISS is the star.
I agree.
The spaceman. You don't need Eddie Van Halen to come into KISS. It doesn't.
I was just going to
it's
say
a waste of his talent. You don't need that. So yeah, for me, I don't want other guys that are popular and have a different sound. I want some guy that comes in that sings kind of similar to those guys and is an unknown.
Don't laugh at me because I mean this seriously. If you're going to pick a name guy in 1984, 85, that era, I would have loved to see Joe Lynn Turner. And I mean that legit because I fucking love his voice, and the songs they were writing at that time, I think would have been fantastic. Now, obviously, you're right. No, and that's the right. He's just a
maybe.
I mean,
obviously, he probably does know how to play guitar, but he's not known as a rhythm guitarist. Maybe he can't do it and sing live as well. I don't know. He is. I know. I get the point. I'm surprised because I don't know how much of a big Rainbow guy you like him because of Ingwe. And
I love him, but I like that Rainbow album because of him.
Which one? All of his stuff is fantastic. I love him.
No, I'm thinking of the
I get
Stone
into those
Cold album.
battles with all those guys because they're like all the real metal guys love the fucking Dio Rainbow. I don't. I like the Graham Bonnet and fucking Joey Lynn Turner fucking Rainbow. I like the actual one that actually had good songs.
Yeah,
not the one that sang about Dungeons and Dragons shit.
Yeah, the Dio Rainbow is more metal, and the Joe Lynn Turner and Graham Richley.
Silver Mountain. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking
that's actually forget about the lyrics. That's actually a good song.
That's what you say about all this shit, Dio. I mean, it's just know, there's nothing bad about it, but it's fucking childish. That's all.
As opposed to the adult related Paul Stanley lyrics.
I just said that. I'm like, what the? Yeah, that's kind of sophomoric. Meanwhile, you want to listen to Dio? That's nonsense. Listen to this. Fucking, this is called Radar for Love.
God, I do like Joe Lynn Turner's voice. He could pretty much do anything.
Yeah.
All right, here's a funny one. Which and when I saw this, I was trying to think because I see the questions and I kind of file them away and put them together. But I want to see if you can kind of remember this process because I remember exactly where we were or exactly where I was when we were having this discussion. This comes from Anthony Barone on Facebook. What was the story that led to how you named your podcast?
Oh, Jesus. I don't even remember. I know we were throwing out ideas. Do you remember some of the ideas we had? Because
I remember specifically that we wanted to have the word. I remember that we didn't want to have our show be the blank blank podcast. We wanted to find a way to have the word cast built into the title because we didn't want it to be the Dress to Kill podcast or or the Dynasty. We wanted to have it be like we wanted to have it be clever and try to take a song title or an album title and mix the word into it.
Yeah, you would kind of know it's a KISS podcast.
Exactly. Well, that was number one.
Not just, Detroit Rock City podcast.
Right. But that was the big thing is that it had to be, if you were searching for this, you had to know right away what it was. And it's funny because the title I think is perfectly, shout it out, Loudcast, we're loud. We like to, but I think it's funny because I don't know how crazy either one of us are about that song.
No, I'm not a big fan of that song.
You know what I mean? But I do remember, I do remember that we wanted to try to mix in and have it be, there was so many different things. I remember we were like, and it's funny when I say this, because I actually think this podcast exists or it's like a YouTube show, but it was like something like, KISS meets the podcast or something. Like we were trying to make it creative and have it title based.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting question.
I was pushing. I was like, how about the KISS podcast with Tom and Zeus or something like that? And you're like, no.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't want my name anywhere near the title of this podcast. I'm like, okay. But I was saying like, well, I think that would differentiate ourselves so that people would know. And you're like, no, just fucking let's do this. Something with a clever KISS thing. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to say this. I don't give a fuck. Shout it out, Loudcast. Like, it's okay. I'm not like, oh my God. And then a fucking light bulb went off.
No,
Oh,
it didn't.
shouting out Loudcast. We were like, all right, I think that works, right? You good with that? Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's exactly what it was.
Come up with. I'm like, okay, let's go.
That's because I remember exactly where I was. I was in my basement, sitting in my recliner, having a regular text conversation, and it was when you said, "Let's do the podcast." We're like, "Okay, what are we going to name it?" And we're like, "What about this?" I'm like, "Nah, what about this?" So we're like, "All right, that sounds good." And then the next thing you know, fucking 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah. It's as long as it's not called Grown Up Rock Podcast, we're fine.
Ooh, yeah. Oof.
Love those guys. But anyway,
those poor guys.
Or even worse, imagine we called ourselves Potter Than Hell. Oh,
nice play on words, guys. But I do like that. I do like that name, but it pisses me off that they're not an all KISS podcast. Come on, Steve. Stop doing Halloween reviews. Get back to KISS. All right, here's a good question. I think maybe people have hinted at this before, but I think because it's a mailbag episode, we could spend a little extra time with it. This comes from Buck on Twitter.
Steve Buckley?
If KISS would... let me try this again in English. If KISS never did the reunion with Ace and Peter and would have continued with Bruce and Eric Singer, do you think they would have continued their musical path with Revenge and Carnival? Because musically, I think that lineup, he says musically, what do you think non-makeup Bruce and Eric would have well, they were always non-makeup, but what do you think they would have given us?
Probably some of that music that a lot of the hair metal bands started giving after the 2000s.
Let me add, I just pulled this up. I didn't realize he had a little addendum to this because he said, so with that question, then he said, I feel like with Psycho Circus and Monster, they're trying to recapture the past. Where with 80s and 90s KISS, they were trying to evolve and reinvent themselves. With Bruce, they were moving forward. So his point is, if they stayed kind of with Eric Singer and Bruce, would they have kept moving?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, okay. I think they would try to been like those other bands trying to stay relevant and put out forgettable albums.
See, I really disagree with you on the forgettable term. I think that they would have gotten
buying Dawkins albums in the 2000s. You know, like I don't know. I know.
No.
This is we have this thing all the time. After 1995, I haven't bought I don't think a new band's shit after the 90s. That's me. And we have this conversation with our buddies on the podcast we were just joking about. Where they're like, oh, you fucking heard Trickster's 2010 album? Oh. No, I don't listen to any of that shit. Well, have you heard Winger's fucking fourth album? You mean they did something after their second? Like, I never stopped. I stopped. I fucking went into grunge and I got into those bands. And then all my favorite bands were releasing albums as they're going along. I would buy those albums. And then I would go back in the past and discover older artists. But I didn't buy new music. I didn't listen to new bands. That's on me. I'm admitting it. You did. I didn't evolve. The only thing I evolved is I went backwards and found some of the roots in some of the bands that I like. Oh, wow, I never got into them. Let me try to listen to that. I didn't. And I say this out of ignorance. I don't like any of the new shit. So
okay, I'm on board with you with a lot of that, but with KISS, I buy anything that they put out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay,
I wouldn't have to. Like, I would say they probably put out forgettable shit. Like those other bands put out forgettable shit, but I probably would like it because it's KISS.
You mean forgettable shit like Sonic Boom and Monster? I think
I wouldn't say that.
What I think would have happened was I think musically that lineup was the most rockinest. Probably heaviest in terms of legitimate 90s hard rock. I love Revenge and spoiler alert, I love Carnival of Souls. I think if they got Carnival of Souls out of their system, I think if Paul and Gene were like, we did the grunge album, let's move on. After they got that out of their system, I think they could have reverted back to hard rock.
Okay. The next wave was all the fucking who's the little paper boy with his red hat? Limp Bizkit shit, the corn shit. They would got into that. You'd be some fucking rap shit in there.
They would never have done that.
I don't know.
What you think? You would have been another version of "I am cool, I am the breeze."
Yeah, I think there would be a fucking breakdown in the middle of a song, and somebody's fucking rapping in over the song. Yeah. I do.
But honestly, all jokes aside, Paul did that anyways. He always had a little bit of that.
They invented that, I will say. Right.
But I don't think they would not have become.
They would doing that shit. They would have followed that trend. They would have.
I disagree. I think they would have done what bands, like you said, I think what some of these forgettable bands, I think they would have made like another Dokken album, another Skid Row album that critics love and diehards love, but ultimately became forgettable. That's what KISS would have done with that lineup. I think they would have
fucking. I did it all for the Nookie. Yeah, the Nookie.
Stop it! How would you stop it? That's ridiculous.
So you can talk.
So Gene will be like, "I did it all for the Nookie. The Nookie."
Oh yeah, I did it all for the Nookie.
Oh, that's a good question though, because I tell you right now, I love that. I fucking love that lineup, and I think our buddy Jericho even said, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Jericho who said he was kind of bummed out that they put the makeup back on.
Yeah,
he wanted to see where they were going to continue. All right, let's
take a step back. I know we did a lineup episode way back when.
Yeah.
But you made a statement that I can't agree with.
Go ahead.
The heaviest, rockinest fucking lineup, and I would put musically up against any lineup they've ever had.
Vinny
is the Lick It Up fucking Eric Carr, Vinnie Vincent, Paul, and Gene. That's the heaviest and best fucking most talented lineup they've ever had.
That's a good
my
debate.
My favorite is by far the original. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you want to say the best, I would probably put that lineup up. Eric Carr could still sing. He can't sing as good as Peter, but he's a badass on the drums. And Vinny, the songwriting and the fucking guitar talent reigned in Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on that because that lineup is terrific. I'm definitely not going to fight you on that.
Okay, let's go a couple more.
Okay, let's see what we got. Let's jump back into the mailbag here. All right, so we'll finish up with a couple from some of our good friends. This comes from our buddy Steve Wright from the Hotter Than Hell podcast.
That's an awesomely named podcast.
And it's an awesome podcast with awesome guys. We love Steve and BC and BB and Dylan. Good guys. Great guys.
The best.
You the best?
I work circles around you. I wrap your fucking head in with a ratchet.
Here we go. This is a nice, easy one, Zeus. If you were going to binge on KISS right now, these aren't your favorite, but if right now you're going to binge 4 KISS albums, right now, what are they? These aren't your top 4. They're just like, you're in the mood right now. It's 10 o'clock at night on Thursday, November 5th. You're going to put 4 discs into your CD changer.
I probably should take 5. I used to have did I have a 5 or a 6 CD changer thing?
I had a 5.
Yeah, I think it was a 5. I'm not sure if it was a 6. So if I was going to do a mix, number 1 would be, you're going to laugh.
Don't do it.
Pete and Chris solo album. Because as much as I joke about it, I don't listen to it as much as I like. And so the songs are fresher.
Yep.
I don't play them around you guys all the time. So the song sounds fresher to me. The album sounds fresh. Okay. I would also put in maybe Dress to Kill. Then I would put in Lick It Up. And we're just going by something different. I'd probably put in Carnival of Souls. That's going to show you that I'm not picking my favorite albums. I'm just picking, like, what am I in the mood for now? Albums that, Hotter Than Hell is something I listen to all the time. Mm-hmm. But, like, Carnival of Souls, like, I mixed it up a little. Something I don't hear as often. Peter Criss is a little softer. Carnival of Souls, a little darker. Hotter Than Hell, the familiarity with the other one. And then what was the other one I picked there? Lick It Up.
Lick It Up. Yeah.
Because it fucking rocks.
Okay, so I would probably go with,
and I think I picked Lick It Up because we just talked about that lineup.
Yeah,
because now it's in my head.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because if you're going to binge on something, obviously you can put your top 4 albums in there. But for me, I would probably throw in Rock and Roll Over.
Nice.
Then you think people are going to laugh at you about Peter Criss. I would throw in The Elder.
Okay.
Because I like that album. I know it has its faults.
Okay.
But I like it. Did
you just say, dun, 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 dun.
I like it.
Dun, 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 dun,
then I would throw in, I would have to throw in Hot in the Shade.
Okay.
And Revenge.
Yeah,
So a little.
I like Hot in the Shade, the idea, because there's so many songs and so different styles.
Exactly.
I like that idea.
Exactly. But see, that's a great question. I like these kinds of questions because if you ask me this same question in 20 minutes, I'll have picked 4 totally different friggin' albums. You know?
See, I it didn't come to me about Hot in the Shade, but I like that pick a lot.
15 songs.
It's also songs that you don't listen to all the time.
Yep. And just for the Steve said he would do KISS self-titled debut, Dynasty, Lick It Up, Hot in the Shade.
He's picking his favorites.
No, because I know what his favorite album is and he didn't pick it.
Okay.
His favorite album is the Greatest KISS album, and I'm not going to tell anybody what that is. You'll find out when we get to it.
Okay.
And here's another question from, this isn't a burner account. This is the official Sonny Pooney Facebook account.
Nice.
Assuming KISS announces that they are done, they're going to do the cruise and then one pay-per-view final concert at an empty Madison Square Garden where you can buy a seat and a cardboard cutout of you will be at the show. 2 questions. Do you buy a seat? And 2, what do you want to see Eric Singer do after KISS is done? So he's kind of half serious, half joking with these questions. I think
yes, I buy a seat.
Yep.
I would. And what do I want to see Eric Singer do? Not much. I don't give a fuck what he does. I don't know. I would say that if KISS continues to perform in some fashion or anything like that, or a KISS cover band or something like that, something to do with KISS still performing. If you're asking me, do I want to see him perform in some special rock group? No, I could care less.
So is that because like you're sour on Eric Singer because what we've seen on the End of the Road tour, or you just don't care?
It's because I don't care, and I'm not like those guys that fucking give a shit what the bassist from Wingers joining a super group from the fucking the guy from Sabotage and the fucking guy from Halloween creating a fucking super group of shitbags.
So wait, you're saying that you don't want to see Eric Carr on the Broadway show of Hall of the Mountain? I'm sorry. God damn it. So you don't want to see Eric Singer on the Broadway performance of Hall of the Mountain King?
It reminds me of that fucking awesome line from fucking, what was that movie? Do you remember Monday Night Mayhem?
Oh, yeah.
The fucking guy was playing Howard Cosell.
Yep.
And they were showing Frank Gifford, kept calling him Thurman Munson.
Yes.
And he was like, God damn it. And he's like, and where is Thurman? And he was dead. And he died in that place. Okay. Can you please tell me if he's dead, how is he making all these tackles here today?
Dude, that movie, what a great call. That movie that was a great movie. That was a good movie. Monday Night Mayhem.
He was just be like, because Gifford kept saying it.
Yep.
Fucking, he'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's great. So to answer Sonny, yes, of course I'd buy a cardboard cutout. I'd buy a cardboard cutout of myself anyways.
I'd fuck my cardboard cutout of myself.
Wait a second here. I don't know about that. By the way, those are going to be specially available on Adam and Eve. Promo code Loudcast. You get cutouts of me and Zeus. With specially made perforations for where you need them to be.
No, I'm not playing with my Shout It Out Loudcast dolls.
Oh, Gary! You told me you were combing your hair.
Oh my goodness! And what about Eric Singer? What do you
Eric Singer? Look, we say we shit on Eric Singer because he kind of has like a fat face and he's
Because you are a disgusting fat body.
You called him Eater Chris. It's
just sometimes his face, the makeup doesn't. It just He's got big cheeks. Looks like a fucking chipmunk. I don't know. And that wig, that fucking wig, is just horrible.
That's why I brought that up. But I like Eric Singer. I think he's a great drummer. I think he kind of sleepwalks through some of the KISS stuff. We've covered this before. Maybe they'll do a Badlands reunion. I don't know. But I would like to see him do something non-KISS because I think he's supremely talented. But again, I'm not going to be like, hey, we're going to go buy tickets to the show because I heard Eric Sing is the drummer. I wouldn't care.
He's probably the fourth best drummer on a KISS album.
Coming up next. All right, so let's finish off with this question here. This is a good one. I think we've kind of talked about this a little bit in passing, but with a mailbag episode, I thought we could maybe spend a couple extra minutes with it. From Scott Wheeler on Twitter. If Eric Carr had lived, would he still be in the band? If not, what do you see happening to him? Maybe the same thing that happened to Bruce?
Definitely would have got the Bruce treatment. But he would have came back. I just wonder if they would have put him in the Fox makeup or whether they would put him in Peter's makeup. I think he would say, fuck this. I need to be in the Fox makeup. And it might come to a head where they'd say, well, if you're going to wear the Fox makeup, then we'll just get somebody to do the Peter Criss makeup. I don't know. I think he would have been on standby, just like Eric Singer was. And they were going to go with Peter when he came back. God bless Eric, but they definitely were going to go back to Peter. Peter sang Beth. I know we're all tired of that. But if they're doing the reunion and bringing him back, and he also sang Black Diamond and all the other classics, they got to do the real reunion correctly and bring him back. And then maybe they do a fucking thing where both of them play in the band afterwards. What if they did that? And Eric was playing with fucking his makeup on, and Peter played his makeup. But Eric played the drums, and Peter kind of sat back there, came out for 4 or 5 tracks. I don't know.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing going to stop the reunion. Nothing was going to stop Ace and Peter from happening. I think the interesting thing would have been if Eric, God bless him and God rest his soul, if he hadn't passed, you got to wonder after the reunion ended. I think you bring up a great point, and I don't think there's any way they could legitimately ask him to wear the Catman makeup. You can't do that. You can't. But the flip side of that is, do fans want to see a makeup KISS with that version of the band, the Fox version of the band? I know I do. Yeah, I would love it because we there's a ton of people out there that saw that Catman era. We didn't see it. We saw it on the reunion version, not the original version. But I think he would have been brought back. I think he would have been brought back because he was already part of the makeup era of KISS. Bruce, unfortunately for him, they were never going to ask him to put on makeup because he was already a member of the band during their peak non-makeup years. So you can't put him in Spaceman makeup. I just think that would have been too weird. Tommy, you can grab him and throw him into KISS because he wasn't in KISS before. Right? I don't know. I still feel like they made a mistake by not just bringing Bruce back instead of Tommy. If Bruce, I still would prefer selfishly. Tommy never came in, and it was just Bruce. Selfishly, I agree with you. I would have liked to see Bruce. I don't really know the inner workings of if that conversation ever happened. I don't know if they would have said, Bruce, can you put on the Ace makeup? It just doesn't strike me as something that Bruce would be like, yeah, that sounds good. But again, we don't know that. That's something we can look into and maybe talk about in another episode. I always go back to when we talked about this, and I've said this to you before, a final show, what you could always do. I mean, I've changed it a little bit, but what you could always do is you have fucking Eric Singer with the blessing of Eric Carr's family dress up as the Fox. Yep. And Bruce, fuck you, Vinny. You don't have ownership of this. Bruce dresses up as the Ankh Warrior. Never. That'll never happen. Or Tommy does it. They could pull it off with Tommy. Bruce is the only one without makeup on there? Because he's never worn makeup. That would make more sense. Make more sense. So Tommy put the Ankh Warrior makeup on, and then
Ace, you wear your makeup. There you go. There's your solution. Everybody's fucking happy.
And Eric
You
Singer,
think Tommy is going to be like, fuck you, Paul. I'm the spaceman. He doesn't get to wear it again. He never would. They tell him, you're fucking dressing up as the Fox. Tommy's dressing up as the Fox. It doesn't matter.
and I think having Eric Singer wear the Fox makeup, I think that's totally feasible because Eric has no loyalty to any makeup. It's not
I just feel that he would have to get the permission.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt, no doubt.
And and tip the hat to Eric Carr.
But you're going with the condition that Vinny will never be asked back.
Fuck no.
Okay.
Would you bring him back? He's a fucking basket case.
I don't know if he is a basket case anymore. I mean, it sounds like from what we've heard in the last.
Sound like he's reliable?
No.
They're not playing that shit. They have hard enough time expecting Ace to show up.
That's the other X factor.
That's the other part. They could always go Ace. Just fucking put on. Tommy put on Ace's makeup. Bruce put on the Ankh Warrior makeup. Fuck it.
Right.
Ace is over in the corner throwing up in a bucket.
I started drinking when I was 13.
No, you're right. All right, so that's going to wrap up the mailbag, guys. Thank you. We cannot thank you enough for participating and contributing and submitting your questions. If we didn't get to them tonight, we're going to get to them because we read them on every episode when there's a regular topic. But again, thank you guys so much for interacting and throwing us your questions. If we got to yours tonight, that's great. Part of the special mailbag episode. If not, like I said, we will get to them in the future.
Yeah. Tip of the hat. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So that's the mailbag episode. We usually would go into questions, but we just fucking did it. So instead, where can people find us, Tom?
So you can find us, obviously, on our email at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Please reach out to us. We will read your questions. We'd like to read all of them on the air if we can. And if it's a question that maybe doesn't need to be read on the air, maybe we can reply via email directly back to you. And then we're also available on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're very active on those. Please reach out to us. Comments, feedback, ideas, etc. We also have a Facebook group, the Shout It Out Loudcasters. It's an awesome group. People posting pictures and articles and stories, just a place for KISS fans to hang out and interact and get together. We're also a part of the awesome Pantheon podcast group. Tons of great shows there. And our show can be found pretty much on all the major platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music now, all those great platforms, Google Play, et cetera, et cetera. If you have a particular platform that you listen to your podcast and you can't find us, let us know and we will find out why we're not on there, but we're pretty much everywhere. And lastly, our buddy Ed over at clicktshop.com, click with a K. He's the guy, our good friend who designed our awesome show logo and sells awesome merchandise on his website, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, etc. You can get him with our logo, or you can check out his website and see the amazing KISS-inspired graphic stuff that he does. He has awesome KISS Meets the Phantom of the Park images, concert-related things, throwbacks like Wicked Lester shirts, really cool stuff. So check out Ed at clicktshop.com. Click with a K.
Absolutely. The emails are fantastic because it's a nice way sometimes we can interact with you and talk to you privately sometimes if you need to. But if you want to reach us privately, you don't have to just email us at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any one of those. We usually get back to you. And, if it's something cool, we'd love to actually read one. I think you got something, too, you wanted to read, Tom, right?
Yes, we got a Facebook DM, which was fantastic, from a listener named Michael Farrow. He says, "Hi, Tom and Zeus. I just discovered your show with the Carrie Stevens episode, and I loved it.
Say hi to Pandemic Paul.
I have been a fan of Three Sides of the Coin for years. However, I've never found another KISS podcast that I enjoyed outside of them. The one that I did try before finding you guys was like listening to a bunch of turtles on Valium." Yikes.
Fuck is that? You have to ask him who that is.
I'm going to have to. It was a bunch of lifeless, comatose hosts who acted like they were dragging themselves into a job they hated with no hope of finding something better to do with their life.
That's pretty descriptive.
Holy shit. After my friend at work, who is a KISS fan, heard me laughing my ass off, I had to tell him about your show. The pandemic Paul bit was hilarious. I am a Paul fan and like his posts, but I can understand how that will annoy some people. I would prefer he would do more guitar YouTube videos. Keep ripping on things, making us laugh. You guys are the best. Then he continues a little extra. He says, as a fan living in Indiana, it's cool to hear what fans in other places think about albums, deep cuts, members, past and present, etc. As a Bon Jovi fan going back to 1986, I love the bonus show about the first album. The Mark St. John episode was interesting and tragic. I almost met him in the early 2000s. After arriving to the expo, I heard Mark never got on the plane. Everyone was angry and disappointed when we got that news. None of us fans knew what his life was like back then. I did see that photo that you guys talked about, and Mark looked rough to say the least. Thank you again for a great show, guys. That is awesome.
You were going to meet him when you're buying some meth? Probably back then. Oh,
well, why do you got to be disrespectful? Be nice. Anyways, Michael, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for discovering us. And that Carrie episode, man, we love that episode. Dude, Carrie's the best
episode that keeps on giving. We had some I'll show you. There was a guy on Twitter the other day. His name is Harper.
Yep.
Finally caught up and listened to the Shout Out Loudcast episode with Carrie Stevens. Carrie, you are a badass. Wow. And your book is amazing. Wow. And, Carrie always writes back. She's so good with people and fans and stuff. Thank you, Shout Out Loudcast, having me on. Love your followers. Harper's got some good taste.
That's awesome.
She says that, too. She's been on all the KISS podcasts since her book has come out. I am proud, and I know you are as well. No way has she gotten better feedback than she did when she was on with us.
That's right.
Our fans still interact with her and talk to her about that episode and that interview. So proud of that. And our fans treat her with respect, and they love her. And you guys keep telling her you love her and keep doing it. And tell them, Shout It Out Loudcast Center. Fucking talk us up.
Exactly.
Maybe she'll be like, well, I heard one of those guys is single.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
Here we go.
But that's awesome. Thank you, guys. And, we really appreciate you guys talking about the episode and liking that even so much more. Yep. Anyway, we always talk about the 5-star child reviews. And that is when you go on to, Google or fucking iTunes,
Podchaser,
Spotify, podchaser.com. Anywhere you can give a 5-star review, we would appreciate it. Like I say, it helps move us up the charts. People interact with us. The more interactions, the better listening. The more listeners, the more frigging guests we can get, and the more fun we can all have.
Yep.
Here's one that we got a couple of weeks back here. And sometimes they don't show up, but on Chartable, you can find them, Tom. Because we don't get this because this is from Australia.
All right.
Probably our second most listened to continent is Australia, right after the good old use of A in America here.
Awesome.
5-star child review. He gives us 5 stars. The best KISS podcast there is. Brought to you by the 2 best KISS mates.
Wow.
Definitely from Australia.
Yep.
You've never met. Funny. Interesting, opinionated, crude, knowledgeable, and a great way to spend an hour or so a week thinking about and listening to all things KISS. This show tells it like it is. Huge KISS fans and music lovers, but no foot rubs here. The Jacksta via Apple Podcasts.
That is fucking awesome, dude. Thank you so much. That if I could write my own review, that would be it. I love that. That's perfect. Thanks, buddy.
That's not you?
That's not me. I am not the Jacksta.
Maybe it's Sonny Pooney, but this guy is in Australia. So it doesn't show up on our iTunes reviews here, but it shows up in the iTunes review in the Oz over there.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. One of these days, I can't wait to go visit. I have family in Melbourne.
Yep.
And I would love to go and meet all the fucking crazy KISS fans over there. And thank you for calling us crude. I love it.
I'll take that as a compliment. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, Tom, usually we end with famous last words. What do you got?
Ooh. Remember when you smile so bright? Raise my heart up to my throat. Ooh. Sure took hard times to drag me down. So, darling, brighten up all of my hopes.
The fuck?
Baby, don't you let me down.
Don't you let me down.
Don't you leave me lonely. Yeah, Peter Chris.
Oh, such a great tune.
Yep.
You don't want money. You don't want a diamond ring. Hey, hey, hey. You say you want my lovin' more than any other thing. Hey, hey, hey. Tom, thank you. KISS Army, special thank you for being interactive with us and getting this podcast episode done with us. You guys are just as much a part of it as we are. Thank you so much for that. KISS Army, you rock.
Guys, thank you so much. We couldn't have done this episode without you. I couldn't do any episode without you, but this one especially tonight. Thank you for contributing with the questions. They were awesome. And Zeus, thank you, buddy. KISS Army, stay safe and be good.
Peace out, Girl Scout. Woo!